let's go back in time for a little old school MREs. Let's go. Hey guys, was going through my boxes of MREs and stuff like that, looking for something that I haven't had before, and I found this menu number 12 bean and rice burrito. And I was like, I don't recall seeing one of these being reviewed. So I just logged on YouTube real quick, and sure enough, Emmy had just done one of these probably about like 3-4 months ago that Old Smoky and Steve had sent her. I have to admit, the burrito was completely 100% different than I was expecting. So I am looking forward to trying this out for myself. Now I was looking at the bag. I don't see a date code on here, but I know that these were produced, from looking at MREinfo.com, from 1999 till 2003. And this one was assembled by MRE. Well, let's see, or try my luck with a peelable seal. I got lucky this time. And let's check everything out. Okay, we have the black bean and rice burrito. It's not that big, 4 ounces. Ration heater. Of course, a spoon, crackers, vegetable crackers. I've always had kind of bad luck with those. Some peanut butter, Skittles, my nemesis, filled fruit bar, accessory packet, and some pears. And just from casually looking at some of the dates, looks like this one is from 2001. Well, seeing how this is going to take the longest, let's get this out with a ration heater and get this going. Now, this heater was put together or assembled on the 346th day of 2000. So I'm going to take some advice. I'm going to get some water and a little bit of the salt, and I'm going to let that salt absorb into that water for a little bit before I pour it into our flameless ration heater. And even the accessory packet has quite different type of packaging that even I recall from having when I was in. It has nice little tear notches instead of the little zigzaggy things. Of course, we have the matches, some Tabasco sauce. It is still nice and liquidy. TP, gum, moist towelette, salt, tea and spiced cider. Man, I'm really hoping this heater works. It's got like that really old school kind in there. In a 4 ounce black bean and beef burrito. Boy, that thing is rock solid. That should be, what's the word? Interesting. Very interesting. I think the one I saw in Emmy's review was a different color. I think hers came in the like the brown type of packaging. All right, here we go. We'll set that on a rock or something and go for broke. I ended up sticking into the box for just a little more insulation, and it sounds like that heater is finally starting to cook off. Well, let's get on with the drinks. The iced tea calls for 8 ounces of cool or cold water, and the spice cider calls for 6 to 8 ounces of hot water. Smells pretty good. Okay, let's take a look at everything else while we're waiting on that main to heat up. We have a fruit-filled bar, handy little tear notch, and of course it's something else packaged in something else. So a Nutrifruit bar. When was this made? Well, I guess that's a bit of a mystery because the only production stamp I see says 1200, and I know we're not at that year. But this is a raspberry flavor. And it's just your average breakfast type bar. You can see it has leached out of there, probably due to temperature variations. To be perfectly honest, this is what I'm most concerned about. Sometimes these things can really have a pretty rank, bleached out smell. Well, let's crack open the vegetable crackers. We'll see if we can get the patented Kiwi Dude hiss. Oh, I didn't hear anything. They don't smell too bad. That is always a huge, huge, huge positive note. And then some peanut butter. Always give your peanut butter a good knead. Get those oils all integrated back with that yummy peanut butter goodness. And actually, I'm going to slide these over here. So I'll use that spot for my pears. Squeeze a little bit. Ooh. Yeah. Looks okay. Guess that's always a good sign too. And it smells good, so that's always a better sign. And if you ever get the chance, I'll put a link down there in the description box. This, one of Steve's #1 fans, Kate, she did her own little review for her birthday. Her mom filmed it. And when she opened up the Skittles, she was like, nice hiss. Was so adorable. So for Kate, we will check out our Skittles. And I don't know, but I might have heard a hiss just for you. And we all look forward to your next review with much enthusiasm. And then we get some pears. I'm always a fan of getting like this wet packed fruit or freeze-dried fruit. Again, I've got the dark packaging. Kind of a mix match. Some was the lighter tan, and of course we get two things in this darker green. I guess the pears are trying to mimic some camouflage. It's still not as bad as the cherries I had in that. I think that was a 1991 IMP. We'll give it a try. We'll give it a go. But let's grab that that black bean and rice burrito. I think the only thing left is my chiclets gum. We'll slide over the iced tea and of course our hot apple cider. Now while this heater did actually kind of activate, one side is kind of warm and this side is kind of ice cold. Well, not ice cold, but room temperature. You know what I mean. And we'll give wet bag with tear notches. You gotta love it. Open! It says, I have been in here for 17 years. I am not going to surrender without a fight. Well, I'm grabbing a knife, buddy, because you're coming out. Your day is done. Well, I don't know quite what to... Yeah, well, I guess we'll just shut up and we'll give it a try. Just know I got a little bit of salt, and of course I've got the Tabasco sauce for hard as a rock on one side. Well, just try to let you see what's inside of this thing before I start eating it. It's almost kind of like a Pop-Tart that's filled with beans and like little pieces of rice. How odd. And the actual outside, I guess the burrito tortilla kind of feels, well, because it's steamed, almost feels kind of like dim sum of all things. But all right, let me just shut up and just give that a try. Okay, the initial flavors of the black beans is pretty pleasant. It's just bland. It just needs some help. So we'll just put a dash of salt on it. It really needs like salsa. If it had like picante sauce, is anything coming out? I'm probably going to have a big mouthful of salt next. It would really go well with like some like picante sauce or like that salsa verde sauce that comes with this stuff from time to time. That would be perfect. Alright. We'll give it another go with all that stuff. See if you can kind of see what's inside of there. Well, I don't know, the jury's really out on that. It almost seems like that kind of made it worse. If that's possible, let's try our iced tea. It is a little strong. You could always add just a little extra water to it. It doesn't really have like any lemon flavor that I can tell. This would have been perfect as a cooling offset, of course, to your bean burrito. But this has more like the appearance of like a cinnamon applesauce, or at least a very chunky, lumpy version of that. The smell is, it's not horrible, but it's not right either. No, it's not right. Oh, it almost tastes like it's kind of like had fermentation, like the sugars in there fermented from like, I'm guessing the heat. And then of course the filled fruit bar, which is raspberry flavor. Okay. Doesn't taste that bad. It just tastes like a really old fruit-filled breakfast bar that you would found in the back of your closet that had been sitting there for a long time, with crunchy bits in it. It left kind of a funky kind of coating in my mouth too. I'll try some of the warm apple cider. That's not too bad. I'm not really like a cider, well, unless it's got like alcohol in it, but just like this kind of cider, I probably would have preferred it with cool water. Turn it more like into like an apple juice kind of thing. I think it's more like the smell for me than anything else, because I mean, I enjoy apples. Smooth out this peanut butter a little bit. Sherman is looking at me so earnestly, asking when he's going to get a sample, but buddy, you're not getting any of this. How's that for karma? The thing I was dreading the most actually is kind of the best thing so far. These taste pretty good. Then of course Skittles. The only thing that could have possibly went wrong with these is they like petrified. They're like completely solid. They're a little tough, but they're still good. Yeah, not bad Skittles at all. It might be just me, but I've tried vegetarian menus, and I think this is a vegetarian menu. Yeah, it is. The vegetarian menus they got now have a lot better flavor, more spices in it. So I'm almost led to believe that the Army had no interest, or the military in general, had no interest whatsoever in having any vegetarians in the service at all in the late 90s or early 2000s, if this is what they offered you out in the field. Well, everyone, this was a review of menu number 12 of a 2001 era MRE black bean and rice burrito. Quite the adventure. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all on my next review. Bye.